On the 98th episode of the HatTrick Sports Podcast, we got some MLB updates and news. We have the NBA and the NHL Playoffs going on. We have some NFL offseason updates. We're going to be ranking the top 5 unwritten rules in sports and ending it off with some Hall of Fame. Yay or nay? Make sure you use code HatTrick Sports when checking out at w.gg for 10% off your order. Roll it. There we go. Welcome to HatTrick Sports, starring your host, Isaiah Carpenter. Bringing you the biggest sports headlines every week. This is the HatTrick Sports Podcast. Let's get it started with the NBA playoffs. Everybody, every single series in the conference semifinals is at 2-1. The Knicks are leading the Celtics. I guess we'll dive into each series after. The Pacers are beating the Cavs. The Timberwolves are beating the Warriors 2-1, and then the Nuggets are beating the Thunder 2-1. All right, let's start off at the top with the Thunder and Nuggets. The Thunder and Nuggets, like I said, the Nuggets are leading 2-1. I think that the Thunder will come back and win that series. You have the Timberwolves and Warriors. The Warriors, I think that the Warriors might get another game off or something like that, but I think that the Timberwolves are going to win. You have the Cavs and Pacers. The Pacers, I mean, I was not expecting this from the Pacers. Everything from the Eastern Conference right now, just like, it's kind of crazy. Wasn't expecting the Pacers to jump up like that. The Cavs, they came back and won a game. I think that they're going to end up winning the series. And then you have the Knicks and Celtics. Again, wasn't expecting it. The Knicks aren't supposed to make it far. And then the Celtics. I thought that the Celtics were going to make it far. Maybe potentially to the finals. But it's not looking like it. The Knicks won the first two. The Celtics had to win that game 3. And I think that the Celtics will end up winning that. So I think that some of these teams are going to come back. We're only 3 games in. But shocked to not see any like 3-0s or anything like that. But yeah, that's just some NBA updates. Let's move on into NHL. A new team announced in the NHL. You have the Utah Mammoth, not the Mammoths. Apparently, the plural for mammoth is mammoth, and I found that out this morning. But right now, you have the Utah Hockey Club, and it's been 13 months of them doing like surveys and stuff like that. And this team is now going to be called the Utah Mammoths. I thought it was going to be the Yetis. I just thought that it was going to be the Yetis. If we look at this logo, it's just an amazing logo. They did this with the other expansion with the Kraken and NHL. These logos are just on point. I like the mountains kind of on the mammoth, and then just the logo in general. It's just great. I like all the alternate logos. But yeah, I really like how they put this all into perspective. The alternate logos, you have like the U and the little whoosh, the Utah, the fonts, the state of Utah, all these, the colors, the white, blue, and black. I really like how it all comes together, and everybody that designed this did a really, really good job. Yeah, the jerseys, every single thing about this looks good. I just like everything about this. Whoever's designing these logos, though, for these expansion teams needs to get a raise or design every single logo from here on out. Because, again, everything from the colors to the logos to everything, the jerseys is just on point with these teams. Some of the comments on this are, never understood why they didn't just make it the Yetis. It seemed like that was such a universally liked name, which I kind of agree. I thought it was going to be the Yetis until they announced it. The Coyotes, whoever designed this needed a raise. Already a top 3 logo. I think this is the best logo in the NHL. I think this is a great logo. I mean, they really put it into thought. You have the mountains, and then I don't know. I don't really know how else to explain it. It's the mountains and then the mammoth. The colors go together perfectly. It's a great logo. Whoever's designing these logos needs a raise. It's just overall an absolute great logo. And I'm excited to see what they do. Again, the Utah hockey team. How'd they end the season off? Utah hockey team record. I don't know how they ended 82 and 30, or no. 38 and 31. That makes more sense. So again, they were above average. They were about average team. So again, I'm excited to see what they do. Again, the team itself's not going to change. It's just kind of the logo, and it's a rebranding kind of thing. I'm excited to see what goes on with that, though. In the NFL, all right, so the NFL draft was a few weeks ago. Obviously, the infamous Shedeur Sanders prank call from the Falcons defensive coordinator's son, that all went down, and then there was more guys basically coming out and saying that they also got prank called. You know what a solution to this is? Is do kind of what the NHL does. Don't call the draft picks. Hey, if you're going to draft the number 7 overall and it's going to be an upset who was supposed to go in the second or third round, don't call them. I want to see their reaction. I don't want to hear anything about that they were prank called. I want all of that off the table. I want them to find out with us, and you can find out their reaction, their genuine reaction to them being drafted. And I think that this would make the sport, the draft, a lot more enjoyable for not just the fans, but also the college kids that are being drafted and the teams in general. I mean, you're at a draft, let's say this is in the second rounds, and you're at home, whatever, with your family, your friends, whatever, you have this draft party, and you have your camera on you. There's no way of you knowing if you're going to get drafted or not. To see that genuine reaction to the team that you're going to, I think that would be great for the NFL to kind of implement. Obviously, you don't have to call the draft pick, but that's kind of an unwritten rule in the NFL, like you're just going to call them. But I say you do it like the NHL. The NHL does it like this, and I think it's absolutely great. But I want to see that because I don't want to hear about any more prank calls or this guy should feel bad or this guy's overreacting. I don't want to hear all these other opinions, this and that. Yeah, I don't want to hear any of that from players and coaches and fans and stuff like that. Just eliminate all of it. I think to see the genuine reaction from the players being drafted would make the draft a lot more enjoyable instead of them all acting nonchalant like, oh, yeah, I'm going second overall and I was supposed to go 15th overall, whatever. Like, I want to see the genuine reaction. I think it would be a lot cooler if the NFL just went away with calling the draft picks before they got drafted. And then, it's going to shock a lot of people. A lot of things are going to get shocked. And you don't have to, keep it a secret from anyone. Like, the jerseys could still be made. Like, everything in the back's still good. But, if you're in the green room or whatever, and you're like, hey, you just got drafted. I think that would be cool, walking out, him not expecting to get drafted. I just think it would be a really, really cool concept to kind of go along with the NFL. Yeah. Derek Carr announced his retirement last week. He's been having these shoulder injuries and stuff like that. I saw that, a labral tear, and then also had rotator cuff issues and stuff like that. He's played for 11 years, 4-time Pro Bowler. He's kind of the average QB. He's the average starter, QB1. He played for the Raiders for most of his career since 2014, and then he kind of ended off with the Saints. But now this holds a new question for the Saints. Who is their QB going to be? They obviously just drafted Tyler Shuck in the second rounds in just a couple weeks ago in the NFL draft, and then they have Spencer Rattler, who's in his second year, I think. Or maybe it's his second or third year, quarterback that they have. But they have options. Now, obviously, we remember that Tyler Shuck was not supposed to go in the second round, and especially not before Shedeur Sanders. But he ended up going, and I think that the Saints have kind of been on their toes since April, since Derek Carr's injury, just kind of assuming the worst. And now that we know officially that Derek Carr isn't going to play anymore, I think that Tyler Shuck did not look good in the combine at all. I mean, some horrible throws, but Spencer Rattler at least has a little bit of experience in the NFL. We'll see what happens, but I think it'll be between Shuck and Rattler. And then they have this other QB. Who's this other QB? They have, Jake Henner, whatever his name is. Henner. I don't even know how he went 0 for 7 last season in games Carrs didn't start. This dude's not good. I don't think this dude's going to start. I think it's going to be between Shuck and Rattler. So, the Saints have some options. It sucks to see Derek Carr go. I mean, he had a pretty good career. Let's go over. 4-time Pro Bowler. Played for, again, the Raiders and the Saints. He had 257 touchdowns in 169 career games. He led the league in percentage of sacks when attempting to pass, which is not good. And then comebacks led by a quarterback, and game-winning drives led by a quarterback in 2015. He was third place in MVP voting in 2016, sixth in Offensive Player of the Year. Like I said, he had 4 Pro Bowls in his belt. I mean, he might make it into the NFL Hall of Fame just because everybody makes it into the NFL Hall of Fame. But, like, he had a losing record. He went 77-92, never tied. That's kind of interesting. Never tied in 169 games. I feel like there should have been a tie in there somewhere. 65.1 completion percentage, over 41,000 yards, 7.1 yards per attempt, 112 interceptions. So again, like, he's a QB1, but he's not like the QB1. If you don't have a winning record, you can't make it into the Hall of Fame. But yeah, Saints have some options. Thank you, Derek Carr, for your service in the NFL, I guess. Let's move on to the top 5 unwritten rules in baseball. So baseball, a lot of people are saying that it's the softest sport in the U.S. in the 4 major U.S. sports, but it's not. But there are some unwritten rules. It's a lot of games. Like, again, they're wearing the jerseys tucked in with the pants, with the it's just a lot. There's a lot of small stuff that makes it more like America's pastime. If I don't know if that's the right way of explaining it. But at number 5, don't walk in front of the catcher. It's not the end of the world. That's why it's at number 5. But it's very I don't know what the word polite. That's not the right word, but polite. If you got to walk behind the catcher and the umpire to get into the batter's box. Again, it's not the end of the world if you don't do it. It's just customary to kind of do that. But that's why it's at number 5. At number 4, don't stare at a home run. Don't. You hit a 500-foot home run, you can look at it for a second or two, but don't take 45 seconds to round the bases. You know what I mean? Do your thing, do your trot, do your celebrations, do whatever. Don't just, like, stare at home plate, because that's going to make the catcher mad, that's going to make the pitcher mad, and then they start chirping, and then, like, whatever. Just don't do it. It's an unwritten rule. You don't see a lot of guys do it. And then sometimes it's in good fun. You just got to read the room. Hey, if it's a division rival, try not to do it. But again, like, you're a division rival, so you want to do it. It's at number 4. It's a very confusing one, but it's at number 4. At number 3, making podium. Don't swing at a 3-0 pitch when you're up by a lot in the 6th inning or later. It's just an unwritten rule. Just watch the strike come in. It's fine. You're 3-1, and then you can swing if you want. You're probably going to get walked if it's 3-1. You can battle. You can do whatever you want. But if you're up 5 or more runs in the 6th inning or later, don't swing at a 3-0 count. I personally don't have a problem with this. I like seeing guys hit home runs. I think that's one of the beauties of the sport. But don't swing at 3-0. It's just an unwritten rule. It's at number 3. Probably could have been. A lot of people are saying it probably should have been higher, but it's at number 3. Don't swing at 3-0 when you're up by a lot in the 6th inning or later. And number 2, don't yell at a fielder. If a fielder's trying to make a play, don't just scream automatically. Just don't do it. It's Bush League. All this is Bush League. If there's a pop-up and it's towards your dugout and the third baseman's camped under it, the dugout doesn't just scream. Again, it's Bush League. You don't see that in the MLB or anything, but it's just a baseball unwritten rule. And then at number 1, the number 1 unwritten rule in baseball is don't talk about a no-hitter while a no-hitter is going on. I appreciate the MLB notifications that I get when there's a no-hitter through 7 or something like that, but don't talk about a no, especially when you're at the stadium. Hey, if you're at the stadium, part of the experience of watching a no-hitter is not talking about the no-hitter. Again, it's just an unwritten rule. It's just one of those baseball unwritten rules. You just don't talk about it. Now, hey, if you're at home, where you're like, oh, this dude hasn't given up a hit, whatever. It's mainly just at the stadium. If you're at the stadium watching the game live, don't talk about the no-hitter. If you're in the dugout, don't talk about the no-hitter. If you're manager, don't talk about the no-hitter. Look at it, observe it, maybe like do a little nod or something, but don't talk about a no-hitter during the no-hitter. But yeah, those are your top 5 unwritten rules in baseball. Let's talk about the Rockies. Moving into MLB news, the Rockies absolutely suck. Holy cow. They are 6-33. They have not won 7 games, and they haven't won. It's not even that they haven't won 10 games and we're almost halfway through May. It's that they've won only 6 games and we're almost halfway to May. This is unbelievable. The GM, the manager, needs to be fired. All the coaches need to be fired. The pitching coaches, the hitting coaches, everybody. They need a recession. We need a Rockies recession. That's what we need. We just need a restart. Make it cut the team and then restart the team. Like, It's just unbelievable. The Rockies GM backs up manager Bud Black before 21-0 loss versus the Padres. Yeah, and that's another thing. Last night, at the time of this recording, they lost 21-0 against a division rival. What are we doing? 21-0 against a division rival. That is unbelievable. That's horrible. That's a football blowout. A football blowout in baseball. And you're 6-33, and the Padres are like, I understand they're pretty good, but 5 home runs, 24 hits given up in 9 innings. It was like 18 or 19 to nothing in the 5th inning. What are we doing? I mean, they're not even giving them a chance. Schmidt, which is, oh my, it's just horrible. Despite the struggles, Rockies general manager Bill Schmidt backed Black before Saturday night's game, telling the Denver Post that he believes the season can still be turned around. You are out of your minds. He said, I think our guys are still playing hard, and that's what I looked for. This isn't a charity event. This isn't soft pitch softball that you play with your 90-year-old grandpa. This is the Major League Baseball. You have won 6 games in 4. You have won 6 games in 40 games. What are we doing? He said guys are working hard every day and they come with energy for the most part. That's what he said. I quote this. He says guys are working hard every day and come with energy for the most part. You don't say that. This GM, who's the Rockies owner? The Monfort brothers. Dick Monfort enters his 28th season with the Rockies franchise in 2025. Horrible owners. I mean, how do you not fire these guys? Bud Black's got to go. Schmidt's got to go. I'm looking at their franchise season by season. They have only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5? They have... Since in their entire franchise, since 1993, in their entire franchise, they have only gone 5 seasons with a winning record. Wait, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, no, I'm wrong. With 90 or more wins, that's what it is. They have only gone 5 seasons with 90 or more wins since 1993. You know the Dodgers? The Dodgers have gone 5 seasons, in the last 5 seasons, winning at least 90 games. How many times do they have a winning record? 1 second, because we're going to do some math here. Winning record. 1, 2. Still going. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 times since 1993 they have had a winning season. They have gone, 2/3 of their franchise without a winning season, and then, what is going on with this franchise? This is worse than the White Sox. This is worse than the White Sox last season. 6-33, a .154 winning percentage, 19.5 games back, 40 games into the season. It's unbelievable. Obviously, they're 5th in their division. We're not even going to talk about last year. 2022, they ended the season 43 games back. All right, if they keep going on the pace that they're going, and then the Padres and Dodgers keep going on the pace that they're going, they're going to be 80 games back by the end of the season. They are absolutely horrible. It makes me mad. It makes me mad how bad they are. This team is just unbelievable. I cannot believe that the Rockies are 6-33, and the GM is trying to back up the manager. Bud Black's got to go. Schmidt's got to go. The owner's got to go. I understand that they've been owning the team forever. They had all these good guys. 2016, they were... No, we're not going to talk about... No. 2018, we'll give it to them. 2018, they had a pretty good season. They went 91-72, a .558 winning percentage. They were only 1 game back. They ended second, and they made the wild card. We'll give that to them. They made the wild card. They've never clinched the division before. Oh, I can't even imagine the day that they clinched the NL West. Will it be in anybody that's living right now lifetime that the Rockies have the NL West? I don't think so. It is absolutely horrible. The Rockies are absolutely horrible. Yeah. That's just what I gotta say. Losing 21-0 when you're 6-33 is wild against the Padres. The true home run stat. So there's a rumor going around that next season's StatCast will be putting up a true home run stat, which is basically every home run hit will only count as a true home run stat, a true home run, if it would be out in at least 15 ballparks across the MLB. Now, I'm all for this. I understand the art of baseball is that every field's different. All the dimensions are different. The only thing that's the same are the bases and that the foul lines are the 90 degrees. That's the only thing that stays the same. Foul territory is different. Home runs are different. The lengths of fields are different. Everything's different. I understand that. But the true home run stat would really change the game and really put a perspective. It would be a good dependent variable and put a perspective on everybody's home runs. You see, all of the home run leaders are Yankees guys. Well, yeah, the Yankees have one of the shortest fields in the MLB. I mean, they're playing in a little league ballpark right now. So if we put this into perspective, we'll see really what if Judge would have broken these records, all this other stuff. And I'm really excited to see if they do this. Again, I think this is just a rumor. I haven't heard anything official about it yet. But I think it's a good idea. And then I want to see, like, again, the Shohei versus Ohtani comparison with the true home runs. I think I do give it to Judge. That Judge does hit some, like, bombs, and I'm not sure that any that are in, like, the first or second rows at Yankee Stadiums. But I would like to see, like, a legit comparable where, like, they're the Dodgers are playing in one of the biggest stadiums, and then Aaron Judge is playing in one of the smallest stadiums. But speaking of, like, Shohei and Judge and all that, Shohei Ohtani is incredibly underrated this season. Last season, yes, he got all the love that he deserved. It was his first season in LA. They're like, hey, he could finally win a World Series with this LA team. He's with this great team. He's doing great, 50-50, all that stuff. This season, he's doing even better, and I feel like I'm not hearing a lot of talk about Shohei Ohtani. As of right now, at the time of this recording, he has 12 home runs in 38 games. Last game he didn't do so hot, but again, nothing special in that. He has 10 stolen bases. He's batting 305. His on base percentage is 410. His OPS is 1.059. His OPS plus is 198. He's doing incredibly good this season. He's doing better this season than he was last season at this time. So again, we need some more Shohei love going on here. I feel like he's just incredibly underrated this season. Everybody's talking about Judge, which, hey, I give it to Judge. He's been on fire this season. Judge is at a 3.2 wins above replacement, 39 games into the season. He has 59 hits. He's batting .396 with 175 plate appearances. His OPS is 1.258. That's absolutely unbelievable with a 253 OPS plus. Judge is on fire. That's nothing against Judge, but I'm just saying Shohei Ohtani isn't far behind him. Shohei Ohtani has a chance to catch up, and he's looking great pitching. I saw a video of him on the mound a few days ago. He's looking absolutely great. He's making great progress according to all the Dodgers, everything. And it sounds like he's going to start pitching here in about a month or so. So I'm excited to see what he does in June when he starts to pitch. And he's a dad. Judge isn't a dad. Just saying. He's got him on that one. The Tampa Bay Rays have officially had their first rain delay in franchise history. I mean, obviously, they've played in the Tropicana their entire career, their entire franchise, and then just this year they had to move to the Yankee Spring Training Complex, which isn't bad for Yankee Spring Training because the games don't matter, and it's all that stuff. But hey, you can't have your home fields in Florida during the summer. If you guys that don't live in Florida or anything like that, it rains all the time in Florida, and then it's sunny all the time in Florida. We have hurricanes during the summer in Florida. The weather conditions in Florida aren't for a baseball field. That's why you see the Marlins. They built themselves a dome. They have a dome now because they were getting rained out all the time. You go to a game, and no matter what the forecast says, there's always a chance that game gets rained out. It's just part of Florida. And that's what it's about. So they had their first weather delay. I'm surprised it took them 40 games to get to that point. But they handed out free ponchos. I'm sure that they had it, before the season even started. to hand out during these weather delays. But in the next few months or so, they're going to get in trouble because this AL East is going to get real competitive, and then they're going to be games back, and then there's going to be doubleheaders and stuff like that. But yeah, these games are going to start to get backed up a little bit in Tampa. Let's move on to the more MLB stuff. Lance McCullers, he hasn't really played. He's played 2 games since 2022. He had his second start just on Saturday night, gave up 10 runs against the Rays just in the first inning, and Astros fans aren't really happy, but they are going too far. The Houston Astros right-hand pitcher Lance McCullers said his family were subjects to death threats made on social media after he allowed 7 runs as part of a 10-run first inning versus the Reds on Saturday night. I'm not an Astros fan at all. I hate whoever was on the 2017-2018 Astros. I hate all of them. There's no excuse for any of that. I just hate the Astros. But that being said, there's a point, like, you hate them, but you don't want them to die. Like, you don't want these threats to them. And the own Astros fans are threatening this guy's kids. Like, he has 2 daughters that are, like, I think under the age of 5. And again, why are Astros fans threatening this guy? This guy has made his second start since 2022. He's obviously been injured for the last 3 years. He didn't look great in his rehab starts. I don't really even know why he's in the MLB right now. But all that being said, he does not deserve these death threats that Astros fans are making. I would never say anything about that to Shohei Ohtani. Astros fans are just crazy. I mean, we're being completely honest. Astros fans are just crazy. But, like, I could never imagine a Dodgers fan saying something like that to, like, Dustin May or, like, Tony Gonsolin or somebody like that. That's who I would compare Lance McCullers to. So it just gets to a point. It gets to a point where you can't be saying this kind of stuff. Like, I mean, it's illegal to make these threats, I feel like. I feel like there's a law somewhere that says that. Espada, the Astros manager, said that there are people who are threatening his life and the life of his kids because of his performance. It is very unfortunate that we have to deal with this. After all he's done for this city, for his team, the fact that we have to talk about that in my office, he said, I got kids too, and it really drives me nuts that we have to deal with this. Very sad, very, very sad. He said, listen, he hasn't pitched in 2.5 years. It's going to take a little bit of time for him to get going, and that's fine, but that can't happen. I'm really upset that this can happen to athletes. I mean, again, he gave up 7 runs in the first inning. Kershaw in the postseason gave up 8 runs in the first out or something in the NLDS a couple years ago. Nobody was making death threats to Clayton Kershaw. No, like, it gets to a point. Like, Astros fans cannot be doing this. Like, whatever, you want to boo in a stadium, you want to call him names, whatever, do what you got to do. Don't threaten him and his kids. That's just uncalled for. A new pope has been announced. We've never talked about religion in HatTrick Sports, but, like, the new pope has been announced, and I know nothing about the Catholic Church. I know about the Protestant Reformation and all that stuff, but I know nothing about the pope or Catholics or anything like that. But the first American pope is what I've been told, Pope Leo XIV from Chicago. Now, as soon as this was announced, the white smoke went up and the new pope was announced. Pope Leo XIV came out. The Wrigley Field went up on their little scoreboard thing and said, hey, the new pope is a Cubs fan. Oh, hold up, they forgot to fact check that. So they went digging a little deeper. The pope's brother, who is from Florida, I don't know, apparently he has a few brothers, tried to do enough research, didn't do enough research. One of his brothers, either from Florida or from Chicago, said that that's not true at all. That somebody in their family was a Cardinals fan, somebody in his family was the Cubs fan, but he was, like, trying to be different. And Pope Leo XIV is actually a White Sox fan. So then people go digging. People, you hear that, you hear, oh, the Cubs messed up, they didn't fact check. It's funny, it's pretty funny, if we're not gonna lie. But then we go to the 2000, all the way back 20 years ago, to the 2005 World Series, White Sox versus Astros, where the White Sox ended up sweeping the Astros for nothing in that World Series. We see Pope Leo XIV in the broadcast. In the World Series broadcast, it was the last out of either games 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, or 3. It wasn't game 4. It was the last out, and we see a little clip of him. You know, the camera's zooming in on him or something. I don't know if he was a Cardinal at that time or whatever. But I don't know. I just thought it was funny. I thought it was funny that the Cubs messed up. The Cubs just automatically assumed, hey, nobody else was a White Sox fan. Why is this guy? We're just going to assume that he's a Cubs fan. So I thought that was pretty funny. Again, like I said, White Sox ended up sweeping the Astros in that series. Pretty embarrassing. But yeah. All right, let's move on to my favorite segment in Hall of Fame, yay or nay. Hall of Fame, yay or nay. We have Derek Carr officially announcing his retirement. Went over that a little bit earlier in the podcast. 4-time Pro Bowler, played with the Raiders for most of his career, and then the Saints for the last couple years. Was still on contract with them, and then, again, the shoulder injury, and then, a labrum tear, and then rotator cuff stuff in April. All sorts of stuff happened to him. Saints unsure what was going to happen, ended up announcing his retirement just like a couple days ago, maybe even yesterday. But yeah, we went over his stats earlier. 169 games played, 77 and 92 as his QB record, 65.1 completion percentage, 41,000 yards, 7.1 yards per attempt, 257 touchdowns. He led the league in sack percentage, which is not a good stat to lead in 2016. And then he led the league in QB comebacks and game-winning led drives in 2015, which you don't want a game-winning drive. You just want to be up by a lot. So not a lot going on here. In the NFL, he would probably make the Hall of Fame just because of the longevity of his career, and they invite everybody into the NFL Hall of Fame. But here at HatTrick Sports, we have morals and we have standards, so he is a nay. We will not be inviting Derek Carr into the 2025 Hall of Fame class. All right, that will do it for episode 98 of the HatTrick Sports Podcast. Make sure you follow on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. You can listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Apple, YouTube Podcasts, wherever. You can watch the live podcasts on YouTube with all the visuals and stuff. Make sure you follow everywhere. Do whatever you got to do. Look us up wherever you can. And we will see you guys next week for episode 99.